Two people wandering around the tracks of Europe looking for a podcast that suits their needs. Oli Meggitt and Martin Southall are those two people. With the ability to chat shit about RC cars for less than an hour with their bare hands. The Bench Chassis Podcast. The podcast with no name. Except for that one.
Welcome back, everyone, and welcome back, Ollie.
Thanks. Great to be back. I'm very happy that you managed to find a suitable stand-in for me whilst I was off, and proving it's not just us two, I think, that can talk rubbish for an hour.
Yeah, it was also great to have the ETS preview we did with Scotty. We recorded that a few weeks back before the race to fit in with everyone's schedule. So great that everyone could hopefully listen to that one on the way to the race or at home and in the build-up. And if they weren't there in person, just another way to connect with the start of the ETS season.
Yeah, absolutely. And I suppose mentioning ETS there straight away, I suppose that's got to be a big topic for today's episode, really, hasn't it?
Yeah, I think so. It was another great event. You weren't there. We was. So, yeah, cool.
Yeah. Is there anyone that's going to be able to help us out with this episode, do you think?
Good question. Well, I do know someone else who was there. Let's see if he wants to be the first repeat guest on the podcast.
A repeat guest. So we've run out of people already then after just 10 episodes. So we're doing well then. But I suppose also on top of the ETS, there's probably something else I think it's worth us talking about this time. It seems silly season isn't just a season now. It appears to be any time of the year.
Yeah, I think I might know the massive news you're talking about there. So should we just jump into it all and kick things off?
Yeah, why not then? Let's do it. So it's the Bench Chassis On-Road podcast. It's time for episode 11. Some silly season news and a look back at the ETS in Apeldoorn, the season opener. Who's going to be bending a chassis for a new manufacturer? Let's find out.
This is the Bench Chassis Podcast. Let's bring on a guest, shall we?
So, sometimes in life you just don't learn the lessons you should. But we're going to risk it again. We're pleased to welcome back to the podcast the one and only Dougal.
Yeah, so he was being a guest host. Now we've quickly demoted him to guest, and therefore maybe in a month or two he'll be back to just the bloke who does the jingles for us.
Yeah, but importantly, Dougal was at ETS in Apeldoorn, so we can get another driver's view of the event too.
Yeah, drivers is really stretching it now, isn't it? So, but we also know that Dougal doesn't mind sharing his views as well. So welcome back, Dougal. Thanks for taking the time to speak to us again today.
Hello. Yes. Thanks for having me. I've gone away. I've had a word with myself, and I'm not going to change whatsoever.
Brilliant. So I guess before we get into talking about Apeldoorn, and that's really what we've got Dougal on for, but I think this will still be interesting as well to get some alternative views on the other topic of conversation at the moment. Let's talk about the news that broke about a week or so before Apeldoorn and kind of shocked many people. Mark Rheinards making the move from automatics and joining the Xray team.
Yeah, I did not see that one coming at all.
No?
If I was running a list of the top 15 drivers that were going to go to Xray, he wasn't on that list.
No, not at all. Who knew it? That the Rheinards and their hoodies would make up and go in the room and make up and have a hug and start getting on along again. Who'd see that coming?
Yeah.
I thought there'd more chance of the Iran-US war ending.
Well, it didn't take long. He's already started.
No, exactly. So we'll have to have a counter going.
We should do. Yeah,
dogs and cats. Getting along. Who'd see that coming?
Yeah.
Well, it shows that they can.
I'd heard some rumours about it a couple of days before the actual announcement started, and genuinely didn't believe it, even though the people I'd heard it from, I was like, well, they're saying stuff. It's probably pretty close to happening then. I guess on one hand, reflecting on it, it doesn't make sense to a lot of people, but probably does make sense in many ways, certainly for Xray and probably for Mark as well.
Yeah. Top driver.
Definitely. It's clear that they let's be honest, they've had a gap since they lost Bruno at the end of 2024.
Absolutely.
I think they tried to fill that gap with David Ronnefeld. Obviously, they brought him on as an off-road driver, but he had done some on-road in the past, and they kind of tried to ramp up his on-road program. I guess kind of seeing maybe if he can be another Bruno, multi-class and tick all those boxes. But obviously, he had some decent results, made plenty of ETS A finals, but there's a difference in making in the A finals and I would say kind of being in that top 4 group at the moment where you've got people who can realistically win those races and consistently win races. And that's Bruno, Michael, Mark and Ronald, really. I think outside of those 4, you are really hard pushed. You've got people like Lucas and Simon who can win a race if things go well for them. But I think, you wouldn't be saying, you wouldn't be like betting your house on one of those guys winning the next sort of big event. They certainly will win races, but if Xray kind of want to look at the standing on the top step of those big podiums, they probably need one of those 4 drivers.
Yeah, I mean, Mark Rheinards always been, he's always in the top 3, consistently top 3, top 4, whatever race, whatever round he does.
And
I think last year, it was on every single podium every single round of the ETS last year.
I can believe that. Yeah, absolutely.
I mean, I've never seen so many people watching the first opening round of a practice session at an ETS before. It was like the A final had just started. Everyone was watching it. So he's the first time in front of, the cameras weren't there. So I was actually going to record it, but I was in a rush and grabbed the phone too late as well because I thought that might have been interesting, the first visual run of this. But everyone was out there watching the first practice round that he went out onto that racetrack. And I think everyone was only watching one car.
Yeah.
You didn't go and marshal his car, did you?
No, Dougal.
No. Do you want to tell ladies and gentlemen what you've done this weekend?
No, Dougal, I don't. And I was hoping we wasn't going to discuss it either.
No, you know me.
Thank you, Dougal. You can tell them.
Right. Well, Martin, because he's such a gentleman and such a nice bloke, someone crashed in practice and he decided, to, in his young and fit way, jump over the barrier in like I don't know,
Rambo style,
like a salmon rising out of the out of the river, and he managed to stack it and knacker his leg, and now he's got to go for an operation.
Oh dear. So this might be the last podcast with Martin then.
It's on my calf, not my mouth.
With 2 legs, yeah.
Yeah. Yes, I went over the fence and tore my calf.
So poor old Ethan, not only did he have to drive, his own car, his toy car this weekend, he had to drive the real car around as well because Martin couldn't push the clutch.
Oh dear.
Thank you.
But we didn't know about it.
Get well soon.
Yeah, I can feel the love from you just pouring onto me.
We all laughed. I was just gutted. I actually missed the incident.
Yeah, at least it wasn't on camera. Anyway, let's get back to talking about
to
Rheinards, yeah?
Yes,
absolutely.
Shush, Dougal. That's 2.
3 and I'm gone.
We're 6 minutes in. This is like 1 every 2 minutes. Behave.
Oh.
Right, back to Rheinards. We were just
Rheinards.
Talking about everyone was at the trackside watching Rheinards' first run and why it makes sense. And the important thing here is, what does it mean? With the change to the Worlds, and now we actually have a date for 2026. Is that influenced this decision? Do you think?
I think that's a really good question. I think the timing is surprising more than anything. I think that was the biggest thing in this. Is why make a change in what if it was sort of April or May time? I don't know how Mark's contracts were set up and things. I sort of assumed that most of those top drivers had deals that ran to the end of 2026, or at least to the end of the World Championships in 2026. So I don't know whether the postponement of the China race, which obviously was going to be in March or April time, whether that changed things around. So I suppose that's a bit odd, really. I guess ultimately it does kind of align with, potentially give some business opportunities for Tony Sport and things as well. And start of the ETS season, does that is that going to mean some things on the kind of commercial side for Tony Sport going forward in the future? And is that sort of, I don't know if there's some distribution opportunities there for Hoodie or for Xray stuff in Germany through there. And I suppose also it brings Mark in back in with David Ronnefeld, who's one of his quite close friends in RC as well. So I think lots of things do kind of line up, but again, the timing just feels a bit strange for that one. So there's maybe something else around that as well.
I just assume that most of them, I mean, silly season's December, January, that most of them have a contract that is calendar year, and we're in the middle of the year. So, I mean, we are speculating. These are opinions. And obviously his contractual obligations are obviously different to everybody else. I mean, he may not even have one. He may just have a firm handshake, which has enabled that to happen. I'd be surprised because he's a top-class driver. And, you want to know that you've got your talent for a period of time and through a development cycle, right? Specifically a Worlds. Well, we've also got Euros every year cycle. But here we are. And the most unlikely person in a blue Xray shirt I've ever seen is wearing a blue Xray shirt.
Yeah, so it wasn't a name that was on many people's lists of something that was going to happen. I do know, and I think it's probably a fairly well spread rumor that I think it's fairly well known that Xray are probably looking for another driver, as I say, to replace Bruno. But I think a lot of people were expecting that to be Michael Olowski going there in a year's time or something. I think that was the thing that was.
I would have thought Olowski all day long.
Yeah, there's a lot of people in the pits were thinking that. But obviously, maybe Xray decided they didn't need Olowski's talents across the board anymore, and they really wanted to focus on touring car. And obviously that's Mark is just focusing on touring car, whereas Michael would have given them a multi-class option there. And perhaps they've decided that, again, Ronnefeld now not needing to do on road can just focus on off road. They've got Bartek as well from Poland, who's doing pretty well from an off road. So
does Mark Rheinards do off road?
He's dabbled, not for a few years.
He dabbled years ago.
No, okay.
I don't think he's done it for 10 years maybe now.
He does 12 though, doesn't he? He does 12.
Does 12 scale, yeah. So I'm guessing that will continue. I mean, very much 12 scale for him has been an arrive and drive kind of thing. He's just gone to like the Euros and the Worlds, turned up with a radio, and Max has built him a car.
He did a Schumacher one year, didn't I remember?
Schumacher.
Yeah,
the year before.
The Worlds, isn't it, in Milton Keynes?
The Worlds in Milton Keynes.
He drove for Schumacher then.
When he won it there. And that was before Automatics had a car, I think, or they. I think one person might have had the prototype car then. Can't remember.
It's not really a key area of concern for them, though, is it? Really, at Xray, because they've got Hagberg there. Probably the best 12th driver in the world. Yeah.
So, but if Mark's got some space in his calendar, I think that'll be really interesting as well, because obviously we know that Xray like to have a good say over what their drivers are doing. Obviously, previously Mark was pretty much free to pick what him and Tony kind of wanted him to go to and get the support from Automatics to do that. So I kind of think we'll see Mark at more races now.
Just on the names you were saying there, obviously, I know you mentioned Olowski, because if you're any top manufacturer, it's pretty much a no-brainer, right? You're going to go after the best drivers in the world. But they must have spoken to multiple other drivers from manufacturers as well, because you don't just go for one. And, realistically, top of the list is you're going to go Bruno and Orlowski, right? And then after that, you've got a number of drivers that are going to fit straight into that bracket. Volker, Rheinards.
Ronald,
of course. But obviously he's very much in there. Then you've got like Lauter, who's going to be right there as well. Urbane, top drivers. Greener. There's a lot of talent there, talented names.
Yeah.
But sure, I mean, you'd imagine they probably spoke to quite a few of them.
I mean, it would make sense to, wouldn't it? I mean, I don't know for all of them, but it almost seems if I was running any of the manufacturers, regardless of what contracts I thought were or weren't in place, I'd be talking to all the drivers I thought I wanted at all the time, kind of things, or every year, to sort of say anything that we can do. You never know what if people's stocks go up or down. They suddenly might be much more available than you thought they were, and grab the opportunity while it's there.
Agents in RC next. So you can't do this in football. If you want to actually talk to a driver that's under contract, you have to make an approach. You have to go through channels to talk to a contracted person in football. But in RC, your contract is what you're tied to legally. Yeah, you're still free to, as I imagine, chat, have conversations.
Best not go down that football slippery slope.
No, let's not do that again. No, I got told off for that, Dougal, last time. They tuned into a football podcast.
Yeah, I got told off last night by the bloke sitting underneath you.
Underneath?
Beside you, sorry. That's it.
Dougal knows directions nearly as well. Sometimes we're getting started on colours.
I can do left and right and everything.
But I mean, the fact of it is, for people like Mark, this is their job as well.
Yes.
You know, this is paying them money. This is paying him a living. So, you know, it's people often like, oh, why has someone changed teams? That's not very loyal. Well, all of us change jobs.
Yeah.
You know, every few years, whatever sort of works and things. And if someone's offering you, I'm going to assume here, someone's Xray have offered him more money or a better package overall than he had at Automatics. If someone offers you more money to do the same job pretty much as you're doing now,
absolutely,
most people are going to take it, aren't they?
And also, and all the stuff that comes with it as well. He can just go to a stay in, trenching, and he can drive around that track as much as he likes, indoors, outdoors, whatever.
Yeah. People do forget that, this whole loyalty banning and stuff like that in RC. That's their jobs. It's, that's what puts the money, puts the food on the table. You got to love what you're doing, right? But you're going to get paid for it as well. So you've got to make smart what decisions you seem are smart for you as well. So good luck, really. Yeah. And I hope we can.
Wish him well. Wish him all the best.
Absolutely. There's certainly talent there, and you want to see that fighting at the front. If that's a 3-way battle, that's brilliant.
Yeah. So do we think that now kind of closes off all the doors for silly season for the rest of this year?
I think so.
Well, you can't see Olowski moving anywhere from Schumacher at the moment, can you? Really?
I can't.
No, Ronald's not going to leave Mugen anytime soon. I don't think Lucas is going to leave Automatics, so it's I can't see any changes on the top end of the scale anyway.
If you've gamed that out, if you'd made any changes to any of them lineups, you're going to put two big dogs in the number one, and it just doesn't work, does it? That's never ever worked. We're always going to have a top lead driver that all the resource and the time is pretty much into to make the brand and the platform successful. Wins on Sunday, sells on Monday. So I don't really see. Well, yeah, I mean, obviously we can be wrong. These things certainly do happen. I'll be surprised if they do happen anytime soon, though. Certainly not before the Worlds now, because I think everyone will be focused on getting ready for that. Focused
on the Worlds till November, and I suppose then that takes us to the end of the year naturally anyway. Then, so
yes,
so back to the normal cycle.
Back to the normal cycle.
Yeah. So, I think that rounds out our silly season part. Let's take a break then and see how that silly season stuff affected what actually happened in Appledorn. Then, let's be back in a second.
Nothing beats a Ben Chassis podcast where you can get an hour of bargain RC chatting with your guest or two. Listen for the first 15 minutes and get the next 45 absolutely free. That's 1 hour for a family of 4. The Ben Chassis podcast with Oli and Martin. It's no holiday at all. Listen for 1 hour. Entertainment is not guaranteed and there may be swear words. This is in no way the opinions of EWS or road racers and no terms and conditions apply whatsoever. Just enjoy the podcast.
So then, let's move on to the ETS in Appledorn. Another great event, I think. Certainly looking at it, bits of it from the outside. I was still away, so I didn't get to kind of watch it live, but kind of caught up on things as things were happening or reading it the next day. And as we know, Appledorn is always a great track and a brilliant club as well. Dougal, start with you. What was your impression of the event?
Oh, absolutely fantastic. And as you know, it's one of my favourite tracks in the whole of the world. I've not been to Luxembourg yet, but it's one of my favourite tracks. In terms of facility, it's absolutely fantastic. It's one of the best places you can go racing.
Yeah, and I know they've done a lot of work this year and built a new pit area. Martin, what was your take on all of that and what they've done there?
Oh, I've never been before, so for me,
no,
never been, and wow, it's like RC Mecca. It really was. I've been to some great tracks, and we mentioned Trencham before as well. That's phenomenal. But Appledorn, incredible. What a place. Martin's team over there have done an incredible thing. And if you go into their clubhouse, they've got all these signed body shells and cars all the way around the place. All these top drivers. And I'm standing there getting my coffee in the morning. In the middle, there's one from Dougal.
What?
Yeah. I said, what the hell's that for? He'd signed it, and given them to an EWS. So he probably felt obliged to put it up there. But it's like RC Gods and Dougal's body shell. But
okay, I'll go with body shell. I just wanted to give my favourite track in the whole world, one of my Well, I didn't paint it. It was painted by Richard Falk, but it was, it was quite well painted in claret and blue. And I just said from EWS in the UK, thank you. And
pride of place.
Burnley. If you go down the football route again,
I'm done. That's all my football knowledge done now, by the way. So I'm completely out.
So and I gave Michelle signed it from EWS UK. Thank you for a great track and photo track in the world. And they put it up.
They did put it up. Well, while we're talking about body shells.
Yes.
Shall we?
That was seamless, that link, wasn't it?
Yeah, it was. Yeah, it wasn't even planned as well, actually. Nice little segue there.
You can't train that.
No, it's just...
What was the vibe at the track around this?
We got there obviously on the Wednesday, and some shells were being cut out literally on Wednesday evening. And when you're kind of quizzed about what was going on here, that Lucas had run this thing, I mean, it's publicly now, the week before during practice, and suddenly just set the world on fire with it. And everyone's kind of watching what's going on in the morning, and, a lot of the modified guys are preparing shells, and most of them were, by practice one, were out on the track. And it became apparent quickly that when Bruno went out on the track with his Speciale on and the other 9 had the Avalon, he was nowhere.
Yeah. Really
nowhere. And, they're straight out the gate. So they're all pretty much, you'd imagine, newish tyres, if not brand new, it's because they run new. They're just nowhere. So come the next round of qualifying, there's a white version of the shell appeared on his car, and then by the next round, the same shell with some stickers have made it on in the intervening runs in between. But the thing was a storm through. I mean, the guy from Avalon, nice chap, very busy.
Very nice guy.
Yeah, very, very, very nice. He was obviously very busy.
Very rich as well this weekend.
Very rich, because he had a huge stack. They had loads of shells there, and people were like picking up a couple of them and getting them on and having a go quickly. And he was just selling these things faster than he can give them out. I think he spent more time in the pits taking car payments than he did working on his own car. But like wildfire went through the pits. And it wasn't just restricted to modified. Stock guys were giving it a go as well. And the initial...
I bought one.
Yeah, but it's difficult to know if you were going slower because of the body shell or your just inability to make a corner. Am I wrong?
No, absolutely. No, my car... No, to be fair... I mean, I was doing a class that was way above my ability.
What?
But
racing.
Yeah, he entered stock. He didn't do masters or 21.5. He went for pro stock.
But I wanted a big track. I wanted to go fast.
Yeah. 17.5 pro stock isn't fast, Dougal.
Yeah, go.
I know that. I know that now. I didn't know it at the time. No, I should have done masters, but no, it was. The car with that body, my car, I can only talk about my car. My car felt an awful lot better driving it around thinking, yeah, this is great. This shell is staying on. But then when I looked at my times, it was a bit slower. It wasn't as good as my Wolverine.
So maybe just actually too much grip for stock then that was just kind of
too draggy.
Feeling good on the track, but actually not rotating or not being fast enough on the straights.
Yeah, we analysed the time and the data because a few of the stock boys did some runs with the shell. We did have to make some changes to the car for the shell as well because on the used tyres it was good, really good pace. But it may be because we're on a controlled electrics as well and it's a big open track, but the penalty on the straight and the front straight was quite big. But you could get on the power a lot earlier through the windy bits. That was pretty apparent. So... most of the stock guys worked out quickly he wasn't gonna run the most, and we're back on the Wolverine after a few goes. But there was some good attempts to do it. But on the modified side, yeah, it was obviously the body shell that had to be on your car. If you weren't running it, you're in trouble.
Yeah, the mod horses just overrun any drag it would have,
Yeah, a lot of work to make the thing stable on the cars as well because they're quite. Like he said, on the moles and things like that, there were some areas on the back because the back's quite complicated. It was a little bit weak, so going out the back was challenging. So there was a lot of engineering taking place in the pits with like lighters and stuff like that and bending stuff and body posts to make the things fit and support the body shell enough. So you kind of needed the rear support for the boot lid, which was quite high, and then you needed the posts, which were quite high as well because it was mounted very high on the car. But all in, it's a new body shell, and we've seen fads before, and I'm not saying this is a fad that's going to disappear because it was written in performance, But the Wolverine, when that first came out, it was horrible, it was ugly, blah blah blah, and it's pretty much the stable diet of a stock car. Is that like the Twister's been in Speciale and modified for how many years? Do they look like cars anymore? No.
They haven't looked like cars. They haven't looked. When was the last time they looked like cars? It was
1999, I think.
The Mazda Speed 6 is probably the last Bodyshell.
In my mind, that only looked like a car because it had a Mazda logo on the front grille. Like none of the proportions actually match up to a full size car in my mind.
No, I agree. No. So big track, get it on. Will it work for stock in other categories? Maybe. I certainly wouldn't rule out seeing it running around, certainly on lower grip tracks.
Absolutely, that's what I think. I think it'd be great in the UK.
Quite possibly. I think there's scope for it. Our 17.5 is open as well. So I'm going to be certain we will see, and we've got Halifax coming up as our next national, right? We'll definitely be seeing it through the modified,
which is like our biggest track by a long way.
I'm not sure it'll work at stock at Halifax. It'll work well on mod.
You'll see cars run it to try it.
Yeah.
And if someone puts one on and they go quick, then you'll see a lot more from on straight afterwards.
I mean, if Billy Fletcher puts his on and he runs around and he's TQ, but then he's not normally TQ, then people are going to copy that,
Yeah. Fair. So racing.
I was going to ask one final question, which is the controversial bit of this, which is, and like obviously this was talked about at the ETS, is this the right way for us to be going? And firstly, absolutely fair play to the guys at Avalon, because the Bodyshell 100% meets all the rules that are laid out in EFRA, which ETS replicate. And I'm going to go on record here, and I'm pretty comfortable in saying this. What Bruno said in his interview is technically wrong. It does meet all the IFMAR measurements as well, because IFMAR has the same set of measurements. However, I don't think people will use it at the IFMAR races because IFMAR still measures the wing height.
Yeah, and against the roof height, right?
Against the roof height. Yeah. And I mean, yes, you can cut the wing down to make it lower than the roof, because essentially that's the reason why this style of body shell now fits into the rules and can be used, because we've stopped measuring the roof, the wing height off the roof.
Mm-hmm.
So you can you'll be able to cut the wing down, I'm sure, to be small enough that it meets the measurements. But then, from my understanding, from what we saw, the reason that the body shells were working was when you're putting, like the Twister or the Wolverine style wings on, i.e. keeping them pretty high in the air,
you need a
higher
big rake.
Than the roof. So yes, they will be legal technically to run at IFMAR, but to actually make them meet to get through tech and run at that event, I would think from the look of it, you're not going to have a body shell that works then. So I guess the question is this the direction that we kind of want to be going in? Do we need to think about the rules to either cap it at this point some way, or even try and roll the clock back a bit? I don't know what the
Go on, sorry, mine, you first. No, I was just going to say that maybe that rule where the wing with line with the roof, it's not a bad rule. I think it's quite a good rule to go by, personally.
I'm going to tie this straight back to what we just discussed as well before about there's professional drivers that are paid to do a job.
Yeah.
This is motorsport miniaturized. In our country, it's still a hobby. In other countries, it's classed as a sport. And sport has technical rules and regulations. And the smartest people out there read the rules, interpret them accordingly, and then design something that fits in with them rules. Does it look like a car? No. Do the rules say it has to? No. Does it fit all the technical requirements required to race the thing? Yes, it does.
Yep.
And if my job is to win races, I will put on everything on my car to win a race. And that includes everything you can legally do. And that includes that body shell. This is innovative.
Yeah.
It is innovative.
Yeah.
Despite people's, we have Iconic and things like that in this country for scale stuff, and that's fantastic. But this is a different level of racing. This is racing. And if you don't innovate, we stop moving forwards. And we've talked about this on the past on this podcast about the talent that we have and the youth that's coming through to push on these new technologies, titanium, carbon, tungsten, and all these clever stuff. So that happened in the aero department as well. Now we've got aero shells, and if you allow it, the rules allow it, it's going to continue. And I really hope it does, because the day it all stops dead is the day I'll probably start losing interest in racing, because we're not moving forwards anymore. We're stagnant.
And I'll also pick up on, I've seen people sort of, there's been a few posts I've seen where people go, because cars look like this is why people aren't doing touring car racing. I personally think it's absolute rubbish because
absolutely.
Off-road buggies don't look anything like any car out there, but no one suggests that's the reason that there's an issue there.
No.
And if someone is not racing RC cars because that doesn't look like the Ford Mondeo that their dad drives, then that's not the issue that we've got to try and solve. Then
no, not at all. No, you're absolutely right.
Facebook says it must be right.
Yeah,
the internet police are out.
People...
Show me an example. Give me one company racing that goes, "Oh, I'm not doing this because it doesn't look like a car." People say it, but then there's never any supporting evidence or facts. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I just don't see them. Oh, I don't. People don't race because it doesn't look like a car. Example, please. ...
Yeah,
it's just things move on and things get better, and this is just one. What a shell to open there. Is that their first body shell? Is that their first one?
Yeah.
And what a shell to open. Pretty much everybody's going to buy one.
Oh, I would imagine there was clean pieces of paper being scribbled on immediately by Monday afternoon.
Yeah, but everyone's going to buy one or two. I bought two. So good luck to them. I wish them well. Absolutely.
Yeah, me too.
Should we move on to talking about the racing then?
Let's do the racing.
Where do we want to start? Modified, I suppose.
Go on. Well, Bruno Michael. A1 was
yes.
That was incredible. Let's be honest, that was incredible. And they were boot to bumper. Michael got the jump on it and say, Bruno had a wobble coming onto the straight, which he had to correct. Yeah, that doesn't mean anything other than the fact that he was obviously driving his car on the limit and he lost rear traction enough for Michael to get past and through. And they were racing it out. But the big thing for me in that was Simon Lauter was stalking them like a gazelle for all 5 minutes. He was there. He wasn't 10 seconds behind. He was there in the fight looking for that win as well. And
waiting for the contact, as we all were.
Yeah, well, I mean, there was a good chance because they were nose to tail, and we always forget about this. Nose to tail modified, and the speed. This is a really high speed racetrack here.
How do they do that?
What, without hitting each other?
Yeah, because I can't do that.
No, you can't.
As both of you will testify.
But that's you can't do that at slow speed either.
No, exactly. in the front, you can't do that. So I wouldn't try modified just yet.
No. I tried that once, didn't like it.
But that's why they're the best in the world. I mean, they were absolutely hammer and tongs, all 5 minutes, nose to tail, all the way through. And then obviously we got to the point, the pivot point towards the end there, where Michael went a little bit wide. Bruno was up the inside on that corner there. Michael tried to move back across to defend, and at that point,
it was a fair move from Bruno. To be fair,
yeah, I don't think there was any question about it being fair at all. I don't think so, but. It was one of those ones, yes, racing incident, absolutely, because the next corner they've got to make is directly in front. And Michael's a little wide. He's opened the taps. So's Bruno. They've got better traction. And they've hit each other on the way to the next corner. And they've gone out. At which point there, Simon Lauter's through. And the cheer that went up from the crowd was incredible. Yeah. I mean, you're thinking this is going to be such a popular win, from stock to modified, to where he even was... then, let alone that he's now got an opportunity to win a leg. And then, heartbreak of all heartbreaks, he collects the recovering car of Bruno, and the car's broken and they're out. But they were all on the last lap as well, so that's why the positions stayed as they were, and Ronald got through, so he was able to take the position with Lauter out. But for everyone watching there, it was one of those thrilling moments. But for me, even with the fight in A1 at the front between the two, it was Simon Lauter's performance that was the standout part of leg one for me.
Yeah.
I think for me, Simon's someone who continues to impress. As we say, it's been really great. I think this is one of the really good stories for RC, that someone who's been, dominated the stock class for a number of years, went and won the world championship in stock, and then made that commitment that he was going to move up to modified. And within 3 years of racing modified, is now, is a front runner. And, if he wins an ETS, it won't be a surprise to anybody.
When he wins an ETS.
Yeah. He's not one of the favourites going into any of the races, but, when he wins it, no one's going to be like, oh, where did he come from? He's been on the podium overall a couple of times, I think. And to be honest, I suppose the flip side of that then is you've got him, you've got Lucas still being solidly in that, in the middle of the A final as well. It almost looked like, for me, at that race, automatics weren't really missing Mark. Still having someone kind of in the hunt there.
Lucas got a little bit unlucky as well. If you go back through and watch some of the runs, he was leading qualifiers, and there was a few incidents around other cars, I think, and just some. There was. I don't know. I mean, we don't really talk about the additive enough. If there's something there with that as well that's changed this year, where every now and then when the cars are down, you see an issue where they will pick up in the middle of the racetrack, and when you're going straight into a corner and you turn, you expect it to turn, and they just seem to let go and do odd things occasionally. And I think he was a victim of that as well. But I mean, it was looking like Urbain was going to be challenging for that TQ all weekend, and he was. He was up points during most of those runs, right up there on the front of the leaderboard. So I don't think he did much wrong this weekend. I think he was just a victim of some bad luck at different points.
Yeah.
Reinhard obviously was wrong. We was all watching as well.
Yep.
6th, I think, overall at the end.
Yeah.
I mean, he was probably obviously hoping for more for his debut out the gate. Still the top Xray driver, but he showed some pace. Really showed some pace, and he was quick over the weekend. But you could see he was having some issues, probably understeering. I think a few people were having issues.
There was having steering issues when I went over with Ricky, who was like right behind Mark, and they were both saying that they're struggling with steering all weekend.
But they'll get there. Martin was on his car all weekend, right? It's the first time out the gates. And if it was that bad, he wouldn't be in the middle of the A final, right? And racing it near the front. The talent will bring the car forwards. And, once he gets it working how he wants to drive the car, I think he'll be just fine. He's got the Huddy Arenas next, right? Next one, Slovakia.
Yeah, it is. Yeah.
And I'd imagine he's probably just.
I'm pretty sure he's going to put. I'm pretty sure he's there now.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He probably is. He's probably just logged in for like a few weeks now, and that's it. He's just going to turn the laps, and you'd expect that, right? That's why you sign for that kind of manufacturer, if you can do that kind of work output.
Yeah, and even taking Mark out of that equation, Xray, Martin Hoodie, and Alexander Hagberg, we know they've got so much data from running there at that track as well. So even just porting that over to Mark and helping that in terms of building the car setup and things like that, I think Huddy Arena is going to be the real litmus test now, isn't it, to see how fast Mark can go with the Xray.
You put him up there. I expect him to be challenging to win that.
I would think so. He's got to be top 3, surely.
And that's the minimum.
Yeah.
I'd think.
Yeah.
But it's their home territory, right? So you'd think, there's a win on the cards there. If you went there before with Bruno, it was just, I might go for second.
How much is he going to win by?
Yeah, exactly. So
forgive my ignorance, but can someone like me just rock up to Huddy and have a practice anytime? Or
they have club days.
Is it open? Oh, they do. Okay.
I think they do like one day a week during the summer where it's open.
Yeah.
So you can go.
You can.
Okay.
I don't know if many people will, because obviously it's a decent distance for people to go for one day.
Yeah.
I don't know.
I think they have other drivers there to practice. You can book privately, I think, to use the facility from other manufacturers as well. So I'd imagine plenty of laps will be turned.
Yeah.
Dominic Greener.
Yeah, that was one that, again, he really stood out. He continues to stand out well for me. Driving for Serpent with I think it's still a prototype car for the 2026 version, or if it's out, it's only just recently out. I know he didn't go to the track to practice at all beforehand, so he was just there from the Thursday. So he continues for me to get some really good results. It almost feels to me now that he's perhaps hit a bit of a ceiling where he is. Serpent, he was a one-man band again, from what I understand, at Serpent this time, and he often has been at the ETS races. So either Serpent's got to find some more drivers that can support him, or there's a support team put in place around him to help him at the track and help him move forwards. Or does he now need to start thinking, actually, if he wants to take that step up, it's not going to be with that brand, and he needs to find somewhere else that can give him that level of support that's needed, that you sort of see the other guys getting. And again, he's not a full-time racer, but then that's clearly not stopping. We mentioned Simon there again, competing really for the wins. There's only 5 of 6 of them, 6 I think, in the A final that are full-time drivers. Bruno is, Michael, Ronald, Mark, Lucas, and Alexander Hagberg. So, 6 kind of full-time people, I think, then. so that being able to mix in with those is really, really good. And how do you find that next step from there?
He was close. He was on TQ pace on a few rounds as well. It just looked like the cars.
It was.
That's that learning, isn't it? You just say him towards the end of the run, it would just fade away from him. But quite a lot as well, because he had good pace out front, and then it would just apparate. Yeah. So the car can probably do it. You just need more data coming in than one person.
Yeah.
But boy, he's a talent. He can drive.
But then I suppose the question going back to our silly season chat is there a space for him to go anywhere else, or is the actual best option for him to try and get a bigger team around him?
Don't know. Well, you'd think the obvious is you want to be on a chassis that's got data. I mean, you look at AMX's that data exchange and how many drivers they've got there. Christ, you do one round and they've got you could potentially harvest feedback from 20, 30 drivers.
Yeah.
Of things. So, and the same for Xray. A lot of drivers there, a lot of data to be recovered. So, yeah, I mean they're the main ones. I think other manufacturers are available, but the bigger your teams, the more data you get. The more data you get, the faster you go.
Yeah. Interesting. So let's see what happens there.
Yeah. Pro stock,
yeah.
I need a good driver to do that class.
Yeah. Which final were you in, Dougal?
I was in the hang on.
He was in A final.
How many letters are there in the alphabet?
Yeah.
Is there more in like the Greek alphabet or something like that?
F or G?
I was in the G final. Yeah, G final. The one with about 2 cars in it.
G for great.
That's right. Yeah. I think that's what Scotty said as well.
Did you at least win the first final and bump up?
Well, no, I didn't actually. Because,
did you not?
No, because I was sitting in the pits chatting as I do to the people around me. I was with the Irish boys this weekend, or that weekend, sorry. And I was chatting away, and then someone said to me, "When's your first race out, Dougal?" And I said, "I don't know." And I was looking on my phone, and then I think Mr. Burgess said to me, "Oh, your race is out now." So I missed it. Apparently, Scotty was calling for me and everything, and I missed it. Didn't bump up. But I did win the 2 other finals.
So you were pot chasing him, weren't you?
He was, yeah.
I did. I bought a plaque home and everything. It's on the wall.
Sandbag and everything.
I should have put it behind me.
Yeah, you should have. Is that pride of place in the living room? Right
above the mantelpiece.
We both know that that's never going to happen for either of us. we could go home world champion in modifieds with a huge cup, and that would go nowhere near the living room.
No.
Yeah.
And you get 0. She wouldn't be that impressed either.
Shocking.
Yeah. So let's talk about the other end of the pro stock field then.
Sorry.
Yes. Yeah.
Jan Rotharski was back in the mix again. He's still been in the A finals, but it's been a few years since he's been, in my mind, competing for the wins like it looked like he was this week.
Right at the front. And he made a point of saying about the tyres. And this is the bit that impressed me, was on the tyre side as well. Because Oli Bortnick managed to save a set from qualifying as well. So he had 2 available for the final, 2 brand new sets. And Jan did as well. The first leg didn't really go to plan.
Yeah.
But the pace was clearly there. I mean, Jan's been doing this a long time. And he's class on and off the track. And I know we're talking about pro stock, but a point to make here is in modified, he was running modified as well as he does. And they were looking at the bump up from like the C to the B. And Matty Knopp was leading that final. Jan was back in like 3rd place. And Matty was going past a back marker who got it wrong and wiped him out. So it looked like that for all the world that was all done and dusted. So Jan's leading the final off. The guy behind him's in 2nd. Matty's recovered to 3rd. And then the guy 2nd runs off the track. So on the last lap, Jan just off the throttle, just rolls the car, coasts it down to let Matty not back through to bump up to the B final. It's all in hand. He didn't have to do any of that as well. But what a touch of class from him as well, that he knows when Matty had it all under control, it should have been his. And he just pulled off the throttle and let the young lad go through a bump up. And otherwise, it was incredible. Absolutely incredible. And it just shows the class of the man. So to see him back up there in pro stock as well, the car looked good, the driver looked good, he looked very happy. He had like 150 cars he was working on with the rest of his family.
Yeah.
I don't know how he does it.
You can't work on one car, can you?
No, he can't. No, he's got 4 hours between rounds to do that, and he can't even get out on the racetrack.
I really don't. Hats off to him. I really don't know how he does it at all. He's a legend.
Yeah, but Bolton got the job done. We talked about that before. It's outdoors. He's got to get these locked down early before indoors, and that's one on the board already. And under some very close pressure from Jan. Yeah.
So I don't think we're betting against Oli making it another championship this year, would we, based on what we saw there?
I wouldn't know.
No. Simon Kuhnen making the podium as well, local hero. So really kind of finding some speed, stepping up in terms of pace. He's made some A-finals before. I guess from my side, I hope he does the full season, and we can see if this was a kind of home advantage for him, or if he's actually made a kind of step up and found something more for this year.
Because it's a 4 from 5, isn't it, to count? That's why ETS is so hard to do. You've got to do 4 rounds minimum. I mean, based on what you saw there on the tarmac, where the rubber hit the road, the talent was delivering again as well. Yeah, local boy. And I think for when it comes to these tracks, we talk about Slovakia as well. It's not a local track for like lots of drivers, right? No. Whereas Apeldoorn is a local track for lots of local drivers. So this is a difficult one to get a result out of with that many people that are spending time there testing. So he's on the podium. He's extracted the best he can out of the car that weekend based on what was in front. There was a bit of a gap back in the end to Jan and Oli, but you're up there. You're already giving yourself a 3 on the board straight away, so that puts you in a great position to begin with.
It almost feels like Apeldoorn's kind of become a bit like Barcelona was, or Bahrain now seemingly is for F1 teams. It's where everyone seems to want to go and do their practice and testing. So you kind of want to come out the season with that race and put all of that into practice and see if then that works for you at the other tracks. As you say, you get to things like Hood Arena, as we talked about. There's limited opportunities for people to go and test and practice there. So people certainly, if they do anything, they'll have done a lot less than they probably do for Apeldoorn. So see if all that knowledge can actually transfer somewhere else as well. Then
what else have we got? You said like Ellerbrook, Spa-Bière.
Yeah, that was
10, Kreshmer.
9th and 10th. Kreshmer wasn't in the final, was he? Where's my list?
I'm sure he was.
Yes, sorry, he was. Yeah, he was 4th.
Yeah.
I suppose, Ellerbrook and Spa-Bière were the two that I kind of thought, that's certainly not a good result for them. Two that you'd think would be competing for the championship based off of last year. That needs to be a drop score for them basically now to have a chance, I think.
Yeah. But there's still such a long way to go though, isn't there, as well? And what did we say? You need to get 2 good outdoor rounds in to give yourself the best shot at the indoors.
Yeah.
So at the moment, that is definitely 1-0 to Baltink. You think if you want to win the championship, you've got to win one of these upcoming outdoor rounds against him as well before you get indoors. But then you're talking about that, you may just be on top of it and carpet this year.
Yeah, yeah.
So there's a lot of mileage to be done there as well.
Definitely.
A lot of mileage. What else have we got going on down there in stock? Obviously, Stefan returned. Stefan Schultz, we talked about, he returned to stock and front-wheel drive as well.
Yeah.
Late to the party.
Yeah, skipped Thursday, didn't he?
Yeah, he skipped Thursday. He had a big life event going on as well. That was on Facebook, for those who want to look it up. So congratulations to him and his partner. Back straight in the saddle, cars out, and then just get on with it, really. Head down and get the work done.
Yeah. Ultimately won front-wheel drive and was sixth in Pro Stock. Yeah,
I mean, I know we don't generally run into the front-wheel drive too much in here because otherwise we run out of time if we cover every class. Bit of controversy in that one, for sure. Leg 1, he got the job done in leg 2 and leg 3. A little bit fortuitous, but you've got to be in it to win it as well. Ultimately, and then got the car back up there in stock. Well, no testing, just car down and get on with it.
Yeah,
talent is talent.
So that's kind of what happened on the track. I think there's a few other things for us to talk about, but let's take a quick break and then we can come back and talk about the other stuff around the track as well.
This is the Bent Chassis Podcast with Oli and Martin, sponsored by BQ Racing Products, where being shit is good enough.
around the track, what else was going on? I know there was some stuff, and I was reading some comments and had some messages about things with like tyre warmers and obviously tyre warm process. We know that tyre temperature is quite critical, and the track was quite warm as well, and getting the right grip in the cars. So what was the story there, and what kind of went on that area?
Shithousery.
Right.
Was my choice of words for this. So, as you said, temperature was key, and cars getting away off the start line into the first carousel, you needed temperature in your tyres. So what was happening, and this was happening from the early parts of qualifying as well, is cars were going down late. Now, some people choose to do a warm-up lap, and some didn't, which is fine, but then you see them do the warm-up laps, and while most are pulling the warmers, they're doing the warm-up lap, other mechanics are pulling the warmers and putting the cars down so they go to the line. But a number of drivers were, to be quite frank, taking the fucking piss, where they would standing off, they wait for the cars to go to the lap, the others to go down, they're just standing there holding the cars on the warmers until they're being told off. And there was times, because they had the clock running in the background, that they would have been sitting on the line for over a minute before someone else, like the last cars, poodled up to the line to go. And I don't think that was really fair, because by the point that's done, they're only sitting there for like 10 seconds. And most of them were doing it, they'd sat out of like Q1 or had an incident in Q1, so they were going off 10, and then they're waiting to go as well. So a lot of the cars, unfortunately, they were heading off to the carousel, and then they're losing the back of the car in the first corner. So their run's compromised before they've begun. It got to such an extent as well. It was picked up, because by the time we got down to the A finals, Scotty had walked down from his booth and said to every single driver down there, no, you pull all the warmers now, every car on the racetrack.
Get your shit together.
Yeah, all cars on the racetrack at the same time. You're not holding the cars anymore. But it built for the weekend, and you could see games were going on, and that was going all the way through the field, that they were playing the games. Front-wheel drive, again, this was happening a bit in front-wheel drive, because now they've added 2 tyres in this year. It has changed the dynamic a bit. We probably should have talked about it, and we chatted about the rule changes this year. And
I'm actually, sorry, Martin, to interrupt, but do you think that's a good or a bad thing, 2 tyres?
I think it's a tough one, really. We were talking about this extent with most of the front-wheel drive top drivers, and they don't like it, because now there's more gamesmanship going on with when the tyres are used at the right time.
Because it gives us something to think about.
Gives you something to think about, yeah. And they generally have this gentleman's agreement, and they just get on with it and go. I like the dynamic. It's some like it. It changes things up a bit.
Absolutely. I'm for it. I'm absolutely for it.
But consequently, though, the tyre temperature was important as well, there as well.
Yeah.
There were people who were playing against their rivals to do the same thing. Keep them on the grid, keep them cooling down, and then get my car down late. And I don't think that's fair. So what Scotty did at the end was absolutely correct. I'd like to think that moving forwards, they may look to address that and set a rule in place. If your car ain't down by the time that first car's sitting at the line within X, then you're not racing, or something along the lines. Might be a bit harsh, but
I think that's great as well when Scotty's not scared to go up to the top boys and say, look, you're the best in the world, sort your shit out. I remember him doing that at Dawn once as well.
Yeah, no one was exempt.
No, love that.
I know the competition's high and it's big, but there does seem to be a point where you've just got to say enough's enough. You can't carry on, because you're pissing off all your competitors as well at that point. It's not fair on them. You've waited 4 hours to do your round, and now you're sitting there.
Yeah, it's like tyre warmer chicken watching them. Oh, you take yours off first. No, you take yours off first. No, you take yours off first.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. So I'd like to think they may address that one at future coming rounds, if it's as much of an issue.
Do you reckon they'll do it like the BRCA? Is it national? No tyre warmers on the track.
I don't know. I mean, but then you're going down the roads of too many rules, right?
Yeah.
And the rules in the BRCA are, they've got to be off the track. You can't go track with a warmer.
That's one of the rules. It's probably a good one.
Yeah, and you've also got to be on the line 10 seconds before the tone as well.
Yeah.
But that's only for the finals. Technically, you don't have to for qualifying. But if you're not down, they just start the timer. They don't stop the thing at the BRCA events. So if you don't make it down, that's tough. So I don't know. It's easy. Yeah. It's easy to criticise. It's harder to do. But when you're running through that many heats, it'd probably save them a bit of time as well, because the amount of time that climber will be running into, like nearly 2 minutes before they would restart it to go again. So you're losing a lot of time there just from shithousery.
So go on.
No, carry on.
I want to say, aside from that, there was a couple of other things that stood out to me, which was, I guess maybe a couple of teams that we talked about after Vienna had some really great results, with Iris and RC Maker both getting their first wins. Iris taking the win in front wheel drive class in Vienna, and RC Maker getting the win in the stock class. But in Appledorn, maybe a sort of, a bump back down to maybe earth really for those guys. I think Iris didn't have any cars in any of the A finals or possibly any of the B finals as well. Looked like they had a very small team there. RC Maker, I think David Ripe was 5th in front wheel drive, and Daniel Antes was in the A final in stock, and he was the guy who'd won in Vienna. David, who'd been 2nd in the stock championship for RC Maker, he's moved up to pro stock now. He was in the C final, a relatively okay start for him there. Obviously, stepping up a class is always going to be tough. And we know both teams are kind of working and developing cars and stuff as well. So what did you kind of see for the pit areas for those two teams? Was there much talk around those? What was the vibe there?
Well, he was sitting in the Iris one.
I was I think it was four of us there in the Iris team. So they're pretty low show. No, Andreas is called. He wasn't there either.
Okay.
This weekend, so he was busy, or doing something else. So an RC Maker. I only saw one. I'm sure there's more than one, but I only ever saw one guy with an RC Maker top on.
There was a few. They had a table full of them. They had a good. I think they had more drivers than Iris.
There's one near. Yeah, definitely. There was one near you, wasn't there? The French guy.
Yes. Yeah, he was going well. I think.
Yeah.
Just not having Andreas there is the miss, because the DNA of Iris is Andreas trackside on the car, looking at the car and understanding the car, and the conditions are a bit more unique here, more understeer people were seeing on the cars and how to combat that problem. So Andreas being there probably would have made a bit more. I'm not saying they're not good mechanics, because there's plenty of good mechanics up and down the pits that were struggling that weekend as well, but having his know-how there may have helped to change things a little bit for them. That would be my feeling anyway.
And of course, Ryan went to Appledorn last year as well.
Ryan Maker.
Yeah.
I believe he's planning to come back over to Europe for one more ETS race later in the season. So.
Oh, okay. I mean, we've got to appreciate he lives in Australia, so he's not going to be coming over here that often, is it? It's quite expensive for him.
Yes.
And maybe we're talking about the same sort of thing as we were sort of. Is not to the same extent, but we're talking about with Dominic for Serpent is how do they build the team around it so they get the data in there, not reliant on just one person, and
or maybe the guy who designed that car could have been there with him.
Yeah, maybe that helps. But then again, if you're just still reliant on if Andreas isn't at the race, then we haven't got anything. Then again, building that team so that you can share more information, share more data. As Martin said, the more cars you put on the track, the more data you get, the quicker you can go faster.
Is the brand bigger in Australia, RC Maker? We've talked about Axon and things like that are generally bigger over in like Asia. And is that the same with RC? Are they bigger in? Is he just maybe focusing on the local market data first? I don't know how many drivers they have down there. So
I think naturally there is, in the same way that Schumacher is bigger in the UK than it is in other countries. You've definitely got that home advantage. But I suppose it's going to be interesting to see how those two brands kind of evolve now, and say they're working on development. I'm pretty sure both of them have got new platforms on the way, so see how
I think Iris. I don't know if I'm talking out of turn here, but I think the new Iris cars comes out. Both of them, I think, are doing a Frontier as well in September.
Okay, so we'll see how that goes. Maybe the team drivers get their hands on some a bit earlier.
Dougal
if
exclusive.
I'm talking out of turn, then you can edit that one out.
No, absolutely not. Ding! What's that? We're up to about 23 for this podcast now.
Well, I did wear an Irish T-shirt that weekend, so I'm allowed to say. I'm allowed to say it.
We will quick plug. What was that? Tiger Racing, isn't it? Mark Burgess's new shop and brand.
Yeah, that's it. Tiger Racing. Yeah, big shout out to Tiger Racing.
Easy Tiger.
Other model shops are available though.
We need to monetize this.
All sixpence worth. Exactly.
Well, you've already blown the budget on your holiday.
Yeah. anything.
Canby Island.
Oh, it was beautiful. Like abroad. Yeah. Overseas.
Yeah.
Anything else that happened in Appledorn for us to round things off with? What else was the sort of vibe? What else was going on?
Refereeing.
Yeah, refereeing. That came up a few times. It's the hardest job in RC, and when we discussed this
Absolutely.
with Scotty as well, and he says it's the worst and the hardest one that you can do, because now you get it wrong, you get it wrong, it happens, right?
Especially an event like that, though, you get it.
Yeah.
It just hurts even more when you're on the end of it. It's because I wasn't, but I was sitting next to someone who was, and it hurts because you sit there you can sit there for 4 hours waiting for your run. And then you go out and you get raped by a crappy refereeing decision, and it hurts. It's no getting around it. It hurts, and you come off the track really pissed off.
Yeah. There was one particular one on the carousel, and an incident like you look at the incident between Bruno and Orlowski, and there was a lot of incidents that were called by the referee on there, or a car will go slightly wide, and the other car's gone on the inside. And then the outside car has had a little bit of a panic and tried to shut the door quickly and made contact. And every time that car that had made the move on the inside got penalised. And I saw that 6 or 7 times. And not once did I think it was a penalty on any of them. And most of those drivers, it depends on what you were fighting for as well. But it had consequences for quite a few of them in the bump ups and stuff like that. And others, it didn't. But it was still, I thought it was tough penalties. And you're watching the video back on a few of them. And I still didn't see how it was. But then, they're just a few example. But if you've had the commentator calling the move as clean, it's door to door, go, 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 and then the referee gives you the penalty instantly afterwards in the next breath, you need to pull over and wait. And it's like, who are you supposed to listen to at that point? That's difficult.
Which one? Which one is it?
Which one? And that happened a couple of times as well. So it was disappointing for them drivers.
I will say, because I spoke to France after the event, and and I said to him, it's a difficult job. I've been a referee, and and at the end of the race, someone's come up to me and had a go at me. Oh, you didn't see, and I didn't know. And I'll just say, well, I'm not your personal referee, mate. I don't see all the race. I don't see everything.
Yeah.
And I told him what I thought of him, but I invited him to go off for a period of reflection. Let's just put it that way. But yeah, it's hard, and you can't see everything. So that's that's the other side of it. It's like refereeing all sports. You're not going to please everybody all the time, and we don't have VAR. Thank God we don't have VAR.
Yeah, I'm inclined to think sometimes though, if you're just not sure, don't rule, because the only person that's going to be pissed off then is the other driver involved in the contact, right, and not everybody else. But that aside, it's a really, really difficult job to do, and there were lots of tough decisions that were called, and they were called correctly on many, many times. But no one really focuses on what the good calls were. They only ever focus on the bad ones, on the negative, and there was certainly more positives than negative. But I was just disappointed that it seemed to be the same penalty on the same part of the track for numerous drivers, and I didn't think it was. And from others watching there as well, they didn't feel the same thing as well. I need to discuss it, but it's his opinion. And if you're going to step up and do a better job, stick your hand up in the air and go and do it. You just have to.
And let's face it, refereeing is opinion at the end of the day. I mean, there are rules in place, but it's interpretation and opinion.
Like this podcast, it's just opinion.
Yeah, absolutely. His opinions, no one agrees with them. Good, we found out last time I was on. But that's.
Stay on target.
But yeah, it's a hard job being a referee, and when we commentate the EWS, Oli does the A finals, but I stand next and referee the best I can. And every time there's a contact, Oli always says to me, like, "Was that all right? Was that all right?" And I'm saying, "Yeah, it's fine, carry on." It's
because you were looking at your phone. No, but we've all refereed. We know it's tough.
Yeah. It's tough. Yeah,
it's just hard. When you come away, like you said, 4 hours, right, and your overriding remembering thing is a decision that didn't go in your favour as well. It's hard to take as racers, whatever level. Certainly at the top one, because for them it really matters. But I said before, everyone's pretty much treated the same all the way through the finals as well. But it doesn't detract from what was an incredible opening event, a fantastic racetrack, an incredible facility. And,
absolutely.
The timetable. We didn't mention that. The timetable they ran. And I love the adaptation quickly, because we knew there was rain coming. So Scotty just said, we are scrapping all the driver announcements today. We're just going to roll through this. And they pushed hard. And we were finished well ahead of schedule. And no word of a lie. It must have been the same for you, Dougal. As soon as we packed up and left, started pissing down.
It was like a time to, the minute.
Yeah.
It was, yeah.
Absolutely incredible, because a few spots started coming down during the leg 3A right at the end. And then after that, literally just pissed down. So what a brilliant decision. They stayed on top of the weather, pushed the schedule as fast as they could.
On Sunday as well, when they giving out the trophies, it rained.
Yeah.
So we got all the racing done. It was they called the weather bang on, absolutely bang on.
Yeah, really, really well done.
Yeah, but well done to the ETS team for that. They've absolutely, and the Hartmut as well for doing the timekeeping. They smashed that out of the park that weekend.
Man, if you've never been Appledorn, go Appledorn. Incredible. I didn't even get to drive. And I should have got out into practice in the morning. I was offered a car just to go and do a couple of laps, and I wish I had, although I wouldn't have been able to get to the rostrum before practice had finished.
So it was... I'm
welling up over it.
It's always an emotional time. Always emotional.
It is. Quick break.
But I think, really good opening round of the season then. I'm gutted I missed out, but it was really good to kind of catch up and hear some different views as to what actually happened at the track. And I guess now we're all looking forward to round number 2 in the return to Hoodie Arena in Trenčín in Slovakia. Going to take place in July.
Yes.
So can't wait for that one.
Have you booked the flights, Ollie?
I have, yeah.
Okay.
I booked my flight.
On the same plane.
Did you book our hotel?
Yes, you have got a hotel, Dougal.
Okay, just checking.
Yeah, you're sharing with me.
Great.
Quick break. Then we'll be right back.
Yes, I need to get over that.
This is the Ben Chassis Podcast. An hour of your life you're not going to get back.
Okay, I think that's all that's really left for us to do is to get this one wrapped up. Thank God, Ollie's back. Well done.
Thank you.
We've managed to survive with Dougal here again, so far. That's only 23, 24 dings somewhere along the line. But thank you for coming back in again today, Dougal. It was appreciated. Man on the ground alongside me.
Yeah, don't forget, if you're upset by anything I say, please feel free to piss off.
Good. Brilliant. No, it's good to hear kind of some different views on things as well. And Dougal always with a different set of opinions on stuff, I think it's fair to say. So I don't think there's anything else for us to talk about. So we'll say goodbye from all of us for now. But just before we go, there was also the UK National at Stafford. And I know Dougal had some comments on Stafford last time. So we thought to round things off then, Dougal, do you want to just kind of round up Stafford and your views on that?
Yeah, let me tell you about Stafford. Hang on, let me...
Fast laps, clean lines, that's how we go. Thanks for tuning in to the Ben Chassis on Road podcast show.
Did you just cut me off there? I was in full rant about Stafford there. I thought I got it all off my chest.
Yep.
Oh, okay.
Do you want to go again?
Yeah, let's do it again.
Go for it.